Good afternoon, good people. Kenyan time is 12 p.m. Everyone around the world, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to today's video. We are going to be looking at we're going to be looking at what the market will be giving us this week. So we're going to be doing our weekly snapshot, see the opportunities we have on the dollar index. Maybe if the dollar index will be weak, or maybe we'll be able to get some sort of stronger dollar going forward. But in the meantime, we're going to jump straight into the DXY, see what we have on the daily time frame, and maybe potentially see if other pairs, if other dollar pairs are stronger or weaker. Now, if we jump straight to the weekly time frame, looking at the DXY. Now, the DXY, we can be able to see that if we zoom, we can be able to see that the market is still bearish because we can see we were coming all the way from this high. It's been bearish for quite some time. And again, if we zoom, we can be able to see that this is more of like a corrective structure, more of like a corrective structure. So we will be expecting to see if the market might will respect this structure and maybe break to the downside, or if it does not do that, we'll be able to look at other opportunities. Now, just to zoom, we can be able to see that from the left, we had a break of structure from this area here. There was a break of structure here, and you can be able to see our spot. This was our imbalance. This was our imbalance. Again, you can be able to see that we have our supply zone at the top, meaning that the only time we're going to be looking for a bearish market structure is only when the market comes back to the supply. So we're going to be looking at the supply zone, which is yet to be tested. Again, that being said, maybe I'll be
Explore
expecting to
new ways to
see
tune
the
into your
market
music with Spotify
will be able
Premium.
to come back
Smart Shuffle adds
to come
recommendations.
back to this area, and then maybe potentially continue to go to the upside. So if you can be able to come back to this area, maybe give us some sort of like bearish momentums, we'll be able to see what the market will do. Now again, in the meantime, again, if the market decides not to go to that area and decides to break from this particular price, maybe closing below this low, we'll be looking for the market to give us some sort of these structures, and then maybe looking for the market to retest, then continue to go back to this demand zone that was here, because you can see this demand zone was not yet tested. So we're still going to be very patient with it and see if we can be able to come back to this area. Now, if I zoom internally before I go to the lower time frames, I can be able to spot that we were coming from this high, creating a new high here, then a new low. Again, you can see we created a new high, then again new low, which led to the break of structure. And so if we take this one out, we can be able to see that there was a break of structure from this particular point, and then we'll be able to, and this is going to be our area of interest. Now, break of structure, this is going to be our area of interest. It's going to be our demand zone. So this demand zone, we'll be expecting to see if the market will continue to go to the upside once it touches to that demand zone. And also for us to know that this area is strong, we can be able to extend the line to the left, but to see it also acted as a resistance. Again, we broke above from the resistance, and then now it now turns into a new support area. Now, just let's stick with the demand area and be able to see this is going to be our demand area. Now, you can see last week we did test back to this demand area, taking out the previous week low, sweeping the sell side liquidity within the zone, initiating our buy movement. You can see we had a very strong bullish movement to the upside. Now we can also be able to see that we again managed to close above the previous week high, leading to a break of structure. So this is going to be our break of structure. As I'm going to the lower time frame, to the daily time frame, I'll be able to look for maybe some imbalances or maybe some daily demand zone, and potentially to be able to see if the market will be able to come back to or maybe continue to go to the upside once we test back to the daily demand zone. Now, off to the daily demand zone, I mean daily time frame. Now, this is the on the daily time frame, we can be able to see that we had a break of structure from this area. Now, this was a very beautiful break of structure, and then again we can be able to see, just to, this is already tested. We can be able to see that we had a break of structure from this area. Now, this was a very beautiful break of structure, and then again we can be able to see, just to, this is already tested. We can be able to see that we had a break of structure from this area. Now, this was a very beautiful break of structure, and then again we can be able to see, just to, we can be able to see there is fair value, our fair value gap is here, or our price imbalance is there, and this is acting as our some sort of a demand zone. So we'll be expected to see the market coming back to this demand zone. Again, let's focus on the structure. You can be able to see from here, market came creating a new lower high, a new lower low, new lower high, new lower low, new lower high, new lower low, new lower high, new lower low, and then eventually we had a break of structure. Now, if we take this one out just to understand the structure, we can be able to see there was a break of structure from this level here. We'll be looking for the market to come back and test towards this area. Then, after it tests back to this area where there's an imbalance and a demand zone, then we'll be able to look for more bullish continuation to the upside. Now, just sticking to our analysis, we are going to jump into the 4-hour time frame and see what the 4-hour time frame has for us. Now, this is the 4-hour time frame. We can be able to see that from the 4-hour time frame, we can actually modify this to see to this area. We still have, this is going to be our demand area. It's going to be our demand area, meaning the only time you're going to be looking for more bullish is when the market comes back to this area at this particular point. It's when the market comes back to this area, this demand zone, and then from that demand zone, we'll be looking for the market to continue to go to the upside and potentially coming back to take out these equal highs and maybe continue to go to the upside. So this week, especially today, we're expecting a weaker dollar, but generally this week, once the market taps back into this demand zone, I'll be looking to see if the market will be able to give me more bullish continuation, or maybe this W pattern we see here, a reverse head and shoulder. If we identify this piece of price action here, we'll be able to continue to go to the upside. Now, that being said, we're going to jump into USD JPY. Now, we're looking at USD JPY, looking at the daily time frame. Looking at the daily time frame, we can be able to spot something. If you zoom, you can be able to see that all the way from, it's been a very long time, market has always been on a bullish trend, and we just want to keep up with this momentum. We don't want to do anything else. We just want to keep up with the momentum. Because the market is bullish, the first thing I'm going to look at is the demand zone. Now, if we focus on what we have, where the leg started, we can be able to appreciate the fact that the market came down from this area, creating a new lower low, then a new lower high. Then again, you can see there's a new lower low, new lower high, and then again, potential new lower low. And then you can see from here, we started changing. You can see new high high, new lower low, new high high, and then eventually market came back to test back to this demand zone. Again, you can see eventually we had a break of structure. Now, if I take this structure and place it somewhere so that I can be able to understand, I can be able to see that there was a break of structure from this area, meaning our imbalance is around this particular area, and this is going to be our demand zone. Going forward, this is going to be our demand zone. We're going to be looking for the market to come back to this demand zone, then maybe potentially going to the upside. Now, that being said, let's jump into what we have in the market. You can see there's an open price imbalance. There was a break of structure at this particular high. There was a break of structure, that particular high, open price imbalance. And this open price imbalance is, we are going to capitalize on it, and we still have a demand zone that is yet to be mitigated. Now, if I focus on what we have here, can be able to see severally from here, the market broke structure to the downside. We had a very nice break of structure, meaning that we will be looking to see if the market will come back to this demand zone, this supply zone, this supply zone that is here. We're looking to see if the market will come back to the supply zone, maybe reacting to other supply zone, giving us some sort of more structures to the downside. And then we can be able to see that when we had a break of structure, we formed equal lows. So these are equal lows. On these equal lows, we'll be expecting to see the market to smashing through the equal lows, then coming back to retest, and then continue to go to the upside. But in the meantime, I'll be looking to see if the market will be able to come back to the supply zone, and then maybe potentially reversing to the downside. Now, sticking to the 4-hour time frame. Now, the 4-hour time frame is telling us a very beautiful story. you can be able to see now you can be able to limit this. We work with this candlestick. Now, the 4-hour time frame is telling us a very beautiful story here. We can see internally we've been forming new high highs and new low lows. From here, there was a high, then there was another low. You can see there was another high here, a very beautiful high, a very beautiful low. Then we had a break of structure. So you can see the only time we didn't retest is when we had the last break of structure. So if we take this structure outside here, you can be able to see there was a break of structure from this area. Now we are going to be looking for the market to come back and test to this towards this demand zone that is already unmitigated. So if the market managed to come back to this demand zone and test back to that demand zone, you'll be able to see the market going up to the going back to the supply zone. Now, keeping things very simple, we can be able to see there's an open price imbalance here, open price imbalance, and there's another supply. This is a demand zone. Now, going to the 1-hour time frame to just smoothen things out and maybe work on a few areas, you can be able to see there's still another open price imbalance at this particular area, which is yet to be tested. We still have our demand zone at this particular area. So the only time I'm going to be looking for more bullish opportunities is when the market comes back to this area, and then maybe you can be able to look for more bullish opportunity coming back to this supply zone that is not yet tested at the moment. Remember, also on the left we still have some imbalances. These are imbalance that we will be expecting to see the market maybe retracing towards, and maybe we can be able to capitalize on them. So in the meantime, again, remember, if the market manages to close below the low, we are open to anything. We're just going to read the price and trade what the price tells us. If the market manages to close below the low, below the demand zone, we're going to wait for the market to come back and wait for such a setup where we have such a setup, market closing below, some sort of like an M pattern, maybe, and then retracement and then continuation to the downside. So if the market manages to close below, this is what we're going to be looking for in the meantime. Now, that being said, let us jump straight to gold, see what gold has for us. So we are actually looking at gold, looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, see what we have on the 4-hour time frame. We can be able to see that the market really last week we did manage to take out this imbalance, this liquidity that was resting below this point. We were not able to come back to fill this imbalance, and again we still have another imbalance at the bottom. So what does it mean? Does it mean that the market is likely to retrace to the upside? Now remember, we still have two areas of interest. We have this first area. Remember, this first area is basically because we had a break of structure, and a very nice break of structure here. There was a break of structure here with a candle close. Now this nice supply zone is where we are going to be looking for the market to turn. Again, if this market manages to go up, we're going to be looking for the market to come down again, and then maybe in the lower time frame we look for some sort of that structure, and maybe continue to go to the upside up until it comes back to this extreme supply zone. But again, remember, if we don't manage to come back to that extreme demand zone, the 1-hour time frame, let's go to the 1-hour time frame, we are going to be looking for the market to maybe reverse from where it is. For example, if you can be able to get the market coming back up again, back to this supply zone, back to this supply zone, then maybe giving us this kind of structure, we'll be looking for the market to retest again and continue to go to the downside. So this is going to be my confirmation structure or my confirmation pattern. If we get this nice pattern, then we'll be able to look for more bearish movements back to this open price imbalance on the 4-hour time frame and this extreme demand zone on the higher time frame. Now that's it for gold. Maybe we can have some few recap on GBP USD, see what GBP USD has for us. Now on GBP USD, we can be able to see that last week we had a very nice bearish movement to the downside, very beautiful bearish movement to the downside, and we said that we will expect that we'll be expecting to see the market filling or coming back to this open price imbalance. This open price imbalance is coupled up with the supply zone that is at this particular point. Now we'll be expecting to see the market retracing back to this open price imbalance and then giving us this other this beautiful structure that I usually look for. Call it confirmation pattern. When the market comes back to this area, we'll be looking for the market to do something like this in the lower time frame and then breaks below. Then you're going to enter on the retest, then continue to go to the downside up until it comes back to this open price imbalance on the daily time frame. Now, focusing on the 1 hour time frame, we can be able to see that already the market has given us some very beautiful bullish push to the upside, meaning we are likely to come back to this area at a break of structure here in case the market retraces. We're just gonna wait very patiently up until the market comes back and tap to this open price imbalance, potentially looking for more sales at these particular areas. Looking for more sales at these particular areas. So we're going to use this week as our area of entry. Maybe go to the 30 minutes to modify our area of our supply area. We can actually look for this supply area. We are going to be waiting for the market to come back to the supply area, and then once it comes back to the supply area, we are going to be looking for this beautiful pattern, then continuation to go to the downside. That being said, one more, we are going to be looking at USD CHF. Looking at USD CHF, looking at the 4 hour time frame, we can be able to see we still had a very nice, beautiful area of interest where we had an area of interest from this particular zone here. Why? Because there was a break of structure from this area. There was a break of structure, then there was an open price imbalance, and you can see market really tried to come back to that open price imbalance. But again, remember, we still have another open price imbalance at the top. So what are we waiting for? We are actually going to be waiting to see if the market will break above this area, giving us this very beautiful, some sort of like W pattern. And then we're going to enter up until it comes back to that area. But in the meantime, if I am able to look at what we have internally, we can be able to see that the market managed to break bill above that area and we broke aggressively. We'll be looking to see what the market will do once it retests back to some sort of these areas we could, at this particular price at the bottom. But again, in the meantime, I'm happy to let this trade to play out. Maybe if you have a break of structure, then maybe I'll be looking to see what the market will do at these particular areas. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna sit tight and wait. And I think my top pair to trade this week is gonna be GBP USD for sell continuation, and then again we are going to be looking for USD JPY for um, bullish continuation back to where we have some sort of back to where we have our imbalance. So if the market managed to come back to this area, remember guys, we are only going to be looking for that beautiful W pattern, and then we're going to enter on the retest up until it comes back to this particular area. Then maybe you can be able to look for more continuation up until it takes out these equal lows that are resting below this area. Now that being said, remember guys, we are putting our trust in our Lord Jesus. We're just doing the best we can to maybe get through life, but this is not our hope. So as we do this, let us not have this temporal conviction of the things that we have and and put all our hopes on the things we have, but let us put our hope in Jesus Christ, because in Him we have a promise of eternal life. That is it for today. Thank you so much. May God bless you and have a lovely afternoon.